Hey folks, what's going on? It's Matt with Heroic Tactics. I'm here to talk to you about what we had. We had the tournament we had this last week. It was at our local venue, Dragon's Lair in Austin, Texas. So they kind of called it, they are patterning after the WizKids Open, so they kind of called it the Dragon's Lair Open. It was pretty cool. Well, they totally hooked us up with, it was a sealed event, and they hooked us up with, it was going to be a Superman, a booster of Superman, Wonder Woman, and a booster of Age of Ultron month 2. So like, that was an interesting combination. I was like, there's not going to be a lot of synergy in this set, so it'll be interesting to see what teams people make. They did hook us up, though. They gave us some dice that we could pick from. This time, the logo is on the 6, which is funny. If you played the WizKids Open at Dragon's Lair last year, they gave us some dice where the logo was on the 1, and it led to a bunch of disappointing rolls. Plus, they gave us 2 tokens, and I don't know if they were action tokens or object tokens, but we kind of used them because it was red and purple, so we're like, oh, these are object tokens, so I kind of used them as an ultra heavy and stuff like that. Yeah, it was definitely a good turnout. We had a whole bunch of ATX crowd, our regular people right there, show up, and then we had a bunch of people come in from San Antonio, because there's a Dragon's Lairs down there, and they came up here to come play. We had a player who came to his very first tournament ever, because he is from just outside of Bastrop, which isn't that far from Austin, but it's not that close from Austin. I know because my boss commutes from there every day, and she does not like that commute at all. And we had some folks come from El Paso. Granted, they were already in town to visit family for Thanksgiving, because it was the weekend before Thanksgiving. And it just had a bonus of being able to play HeroClix, and then from what I understand later on, they were able to play some Dice Masters. So these are my pulls. That, if you can't tell, is Ultron 14, Mockingbird, Miss Marvel, Tigra, and an Ultron drone, and then an Amazon, Uncommon Wonder Woman, Green Light, Lori Lamaris, and Reporter. So like I was pretty stoked about this because when I pulled Chase, and then I was kind of like, oh no, I just bought her online, so I was like, I was happy to see her, but I was like, man, where were you like 2 days ago before I bought you? So yeah, I could never pull her in the Age of Ultron, so I guess better late than never. I knew for a fact that these were soldier teamed, and together is 260. I was like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do soldier theme, and I just kept looking to see if there anything else would fill out the points, and I was going back and forth. I was like, do I want to just go be underbuilt 40 points, and do I want to just be underbuilt 40 points, or do I, or do I want to break theme and stick something else on there? Well, the only thing that would fit on there was the investigative reporter, so I was like, well, 280. That's pretty good. I'm totally going to go with that. Alright, so we started off on this map right here, the Docks on Fire map for my very first game. My opponent had a hot girl who does not look like the hot girl in the cartoon. Hat had a reporter, and then he had that Ultron that's got the full dial of pulse wave. Which I thought I had, but I don't, so I'm representing him with the cyborg from the Justice League strategy game, just for, its intents and purposes. And I believe he won map or went first. I moved my dudes out to right here, so I had my Green Light and my I had my Green Light and my Investigative Reporter and my Carol Danvers right here. Carol Danvers, Green Light, Investigative Reporter blocking line of fire. And he had his dudes out a little bit. I think Hat was right there. I think the Ultron was right there. It flies. And I think the Investigative Reporter and the Doomiflagy right there was. We, cleared. We cleared, first he moved everybody out, then I moved everybody out, then he I fully expected him to pick TK, like TK homie over somewhere, and then pulse wave the bejeebers out of me. But instead, he like flew up here. And I was like, well, like I've got no choice. I got to take advantage of that as I can. Because if you remember, that one's got that crazy impervious that says, you know, he starts with that crazy impervious that if once per turn he can re-roll that d6 if he, you know, doesn't like his impervious roll. So I was like, oh no, I got to do stuff. I, you know, moved homie up to block line of fire. Move Carol Danvers right there because she's got the Empower and Enhancement. And if I put him on the right click, Green Light's got Psychic Blast and Perplex. So he perplexed up his attack. He ran over here and he shot over the blocking terrain to take a Psychic Blast on the Ultron for a bunch. For four damage straight through. You know, he was the Ultron was double tokened up. You know, I think he later came in with some attacks and stuff like that. He tried to get in my face to get some good shots off. At one point, he took a shot on the reporter and needed like a 3, needed a 4 and roll 3. I mean, it was just like I got really dumb lucky. Carol eventually finished off the Ultron with a heavy object, and then it was just you know, messing with the characters and stuff like that. I asked him afterwards. I was like, "Hey, how come you didn't pick TK with Hat and just like pulse with the bejeebers out of me?" He's like, "I forgot I could do that. I'm totally gonna do that next game." So hopefully he got his pulse wave on the next round. So the second game was also played on this map. I did a very similar thing to get going. My opponent was running the 100-point Superman, the JLALM, the common, and Apollo, who is a nightmare. I knew I had to get first crack at this Apollo, and he was doing some really great positioning and stuff like that. He you know, he played them. He placed them out right there, and then, you know, I cleared. Then he moved Superman all up to base me, and then maybe took a shot with Apollo. And all that I really remember from this team is that I was able to hypersonic and crack Apollo first with the ultra heavy object, and eventually I was able to get Psychic Blast in and stuff like that. But he did KO my reporter, and I ended up with this really crazy thing of just trying to punch the Superman. And my dudes were a little beat up. I didn't get pulse wave, thank goodness, but my dudes were a little bit banged up because after a good cracking with an ultra heavy, it gets Apollo to that, you know, that crazy ranged combat expert that can just deal a bunch. And Clark Kent was, or Superman was on that last click with the 18th, and this, man, the only advantage I had going for me at that point was that I had Indom. So like it was roll, miss, try again, roll, miss, try again, roll, miss, try again, until I finally was able to get him. But like, that was a heartfelt battle. He did a great thing, timed me up like right away, and trying to shoot me, and luckily I just had hypersonic from Carol, and that let me get up in there and smack Apollo pretty good before he could really get his pulse wavy crazy stuff going off on. Alright, my third match was fought in the flooded Black Lake prison. This is the one map that I won. My plan was to you know, kind of hide in the water, fly up through the water, and hopefully avoid my getting shot. But my opponent, he had this team. He had Hat, he had Chillblain, he had Lana Lang, and then he had Hell at full. So immediately, like, I knew it was like TK Yo-Yo. He's gonna fling out Hell, hypersonic. I was gonna hypersonic, come back, and he's gonna yank him back to safety. And I was like, oh no! So I got to do something smart. And what I had to do was creep up along the side of the map and use, that's his character, use the reporter to kind of like block the entrance in. So if he was going to do something, he was going to do something. And eventually, you know, he was creeping and positioning and stuff like that too. Eventually, he, you know, TK'd Hell up to, there was a heavy object there. Hell flew up, shot my reporter to death, and then retreated to this prison cell. And then he was like, I'm basing you with Lana Lang. I think she was only able to get this far. And I noticed that I had one shot at doing something crazy. My Carol Danvers was holding an ultra heavy, so I left the ultra heavy right there, moved down, punch Lana Lang into existence, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, finish my hypersonic right there. Again, this is where Green Light's Perplex and TK came in handy, because he perplexed up his attack. Running shot, second blast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And shot Hell and got 4 damage in, knocking him to a slightly, 2, 3, 4. Knocking him to his outwit, toughness, and stuff like that. Click. You know, he responded, he retaliated, he smacked, I was able to take Hell and take everybody down, except for I got Hat to his last click, and at this point, Homegirl was on her charge, 9 attack super strength, invuln and exploit weakness click, and Green Light was on his sidestep, super barrier, and energy shield deflection click. And then it just got crazy. I was doing a lot of super barrieing. Now, I don't know if you really looked at the super barrier power or the Green Light box, but it works like this. You know, Green Light can use barrier. When he does, instead of placing markers normally, you may choose a single-based opposing character within range and line of fire and place blocking terrains markers in each adjacent unoccupied square, or each unoccupied square adjacent to the character. That character gets earthbound neutralized until your next turn. At the beginning of your next turn, before removing these markers, give the chosen character an action token if it is adjacent to at least 3 markers. So we did a lot of jockeying and positioning. Because it didn't dawn on me at first, but the Hat can pick Blades, Claws, Fangs, which is super devastating, especially with someone with no reducer and someone that's got an average reducer. So I had to do crazy stuff, like I had to, you know, sidestep, bury him in right there, you know, and then as soon as my turn, you know, next turn, kind of charge and try to punch him. And then I'd miss because I either couldn't roll high enough or he'd hit his super senses and stuff like that. It was crazy. At one point, I gave up trying to bury him and just tried to take a shot because Green Light had a higher attack value than Carol, and I still missed. It was not looking good to me. Finally, he charged. He hit Carol with the blades, but luckily it was only after reducer. It was only for 1, and or not after his reducer. He knocked her onto a stronger click, and she was able to finally put him away. And this is where it gets really unfortunate because there was an illegal build, but nobody noticed it until after the 3 rounds of Swiss. And at the beginning of the event, they said, hey, you know what, this is 100% legit, this is hardcore, we need you to verify your opponent's build, and if you're not sure of it, don't sign off on it. And everybody signed off on it, and so 4 people we had disqualified. Yeah, it wasn't anything like points or anything like that. It was a possession on a giant. It's something that I wouldn't have caught. I would have totally gotten disqualified had I been doing that. And yeah, that was crazy. Because all I did was just add up the points on the, make sure the points on the bases of the characters added up to the points of the team build. And so I wouldn't even think to look for possessions on giants. It would never have occurred to me. I could have totally been disqualified. So the top 4 was my second opponent, my third opponent, and then some other guy from San Antonio. So that's 3 dudes from San Antonio and me in the final round. So like, not the final rounds, the finals, you know, 3 dudes from San Antonio was in the cut, and I was like, oh no, dude, there's all this pressure for me to represent the ATX and, you know, not let down the hopes of the, you know, capital of Texas. So I played my second opponent on the Bruce Wayne Manor, the pre-Cataclysm map from the old No Man's Land event. My opponent won map roll. We had jockeyed for position. I eventually ended up with my reporter right here to block line of fire, Carol and Greenlight right there, and he had his Apollo and a Superman. He did this really awesome thing. He immediately went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tied up. I think he had 10. Anyway, he tied up my main dudes. Yeah, with the leap climb. Oh, 11, yeah. He tied up my main dudes and then went in for a single target pulse wave. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single target pulse wave to just eradicate my reporter. I perplexed up Carol's attack. I attempted the breakaway hypersonic. I ran with an ultra heavy object, smack Apollo, ran away, and luckily Apollo missed his impervious roll, knocking him onto that crazy, you know, range combat expert. If I hit you, you can either take penetrating damage or you can't attack me next turn. I got greedy. I tried to running shot Psychic Blast away, and I failed my breakaway roll. So that just left Apollo. That left Greenlight there with an action token. He decided to range combat expert and blast my Greenlight, hitting him like super strong down to his stop click. But he double tokened up his Apollo. He decided to push his Superman to try to finish off my guy. He hit. I rolled super senses, and Greenlight says that if he hits his super senses on that special super sense roll, he can heal a click. And that's kind of where it got awesome for me. Because Apollo was token up, Carol ran in, grabbed the heavy that my opponent had left for me, swang in, and smacked Apollo. Gone. My guy, Greenlight did his super magic barrier to barrier in, you know, Clark Kent, because we're no longer adjacent. He was able to sidestep away. That bought me a few turns. It was a lot of positioning, a lot of using the super barrier. Well, I guess I couldn't barrier in that square because it's hindering, but you know, I got Carol back there. Eventually came in for a good clean hit, smacked him around a few times, and eventually that Clark Kent fell. But that Clark Kent, that 100-point Superman common, is a beast and as obnoxious as all get out to kill. Man, he is one of the best tie-up pieces you could honestly ask for. He's a little bit pricey, but man, he is such a good tie-up piece. So my last round was against Eric again, and with his TK Yo-Yo Hell team. He won map troll. We picked Guy Gardner's Bar, and I knew if you're playing Guy Gardner's Bar, I played enough War Light to go, you want the outside, and you want to come over here and try to break through one of the choke points. He immediately saw what I was doing, and he was like, because his Hell was over there, And he was like, nope, not having it. And he moved his hell over here. So I was like, oh man. We both knew what the team were doing. We knew kind of what to expect. So like, I moved my dudes over here, kind of like hoping that he'd come in for the reporter, but he didn't take the bait there. So I guess what... Well, I guess I'm going to address this really fast. Now, green light gives... says any characters 40 points or less can use flight and toughness. And so some people are wondering if why I'm able to carry the reporter around. It's like, it just says can use flight. So he doesn't actually possess flight, so I can carry him around. So that was kind of, just, in case you were wondering. So this is where I think I made one of, like... It was a mistake it was a mistake... Like, definitely, like, one of the two mistakes of the event that really I thought was going to jack me up is that I had moved my guys over here something like this in hopes that to like kind of entice him to come swing around right there. He had like Chillblaine up over here. He had Hat for TK, had Lana hanging out somewhere, and he had the potential to blow out this wall right there and TK homie up and get a quick shot in and get away. And luckily he did not do that. Like that I got really fortunate. He didn't see that, or didn't attempt to do that. And that's when I made the second mistake. So I just got fortunate. That was my first, that was like the first move that I really regretted the entire day, is that I wanted to break down this wall myself. So I hypersonicked in, picking up the reporter, and smashed this wall. Now my plan was to put the reporter right there, come in with green light, and then sidestep the reporter in front. But I left the reporter back right there. So the best I could do was, with my green light, with this running shot psychic blast, so get him to the right click. Running shot psychic blast, blow up this thing right there, get a psychic blast shot off on Hat, wherever Hat was hanging, and I was able to hit Hat and blast him for a good chunk, and then through the thing right there. Well, Eric, of course, was like, that's not cool. I think he pulse waved the reporter away with Hat. Definitely, it was a brilliant move, and came in with homie, smacked green light up really good. Carol came in. Oh, then threw Lana right there, which was like sick, because that right there is the barrier between indoor and outdoor, and it's blocking. And I had to get rid of her before I did anything like that. Don't know exactly what click. I don't remember exactly what click green light was on at that point, and I'm wondering if I could have smashed this other bit of wall and then hypersonicked Carol Danvers in to try to do some crazy stuff, but that was no big. I just KO'd homegirl right there, and maybe went in for like a punch on Hat or something like that. Eventually, green light fell to a pulse wave, and it was Carol on not a good click, or Carol versus Chillblaine, and Chillblaine rolled a pulse wave and then rolled a critical hit, knocking her 3 squares away, because it was a 2-point. I sidestep up, I cleared. He had 2 tokens, he cleared. I sidestep up, swung, and I was able to win the game. So, yeah, that was super crazy. I got super lucky that my opponent missed a couple of rolls. Oh, I totally forgot. He went in for an early attack with Hat and rolled a crit miss. So, like, I'm not Hat, with Hell, and that knocked him off. That knocked him off from his highest point click to, well, the second click ain't that bad either, because it's an 11, 12 is super strength, 17 impervious, and his crazy perplex myself up. But yeah, so there was that right there. Yeah, this was crazy. Man, it was such a high, hardcore, awesome event going on right there. I thought it was really rad. So I won the whole thing. First prize was a complete set of Red Sun chases. This was super cool because the Red Sun. I'm more of a DC fan, and this is the first time that I've played. Since I started playing HeroClix, that the DC chases have been chase-worthy. So like that was like super exciting for me. I did like track down all these guys, almost all these guys in advance. So I spent a couple of $100. Well, not a couple hundred. Yeah, I guess about $200 on eBay, getting everybody but Bizarro. So Bizarro was a new figure for me. Everybody else was a duplicate, a happy duplicate. I am not sad to be getting these things. These things are super cool. Especially Wonder Woman. I've played with her. I definitely now have a super new appreciation for green light. I haven't had a chance to play with Batman or Brainiac or Superman yet, but I totally, or Bizarro yet, especially since this is the first, but I totally thought this was awesome. Second place was able to get the Supreme Intelligence. Third place got the Skull Ship, I believe, and fourth place got the Felix Faust and the Doctor Strange. I believe it went in that particular order. So yeah, this was a great tournament. Thanks to Dragon's Lair for putting all this stuff together, and thanks to the judges Joe and Kelly and Cole who ran all the things. I guess thanks to everybody that came out and played and made it a good long fun. So what did I take away from the whole event? Hat is stupid sick. Oh man, dude, like I thought he was just the ultimate support piece, but when Eric was just like using the blades claws, and I'm like, he was like, I need like an 8 or a 9 to hit, and then he would throw blades, and you're like, oh, holy mackerel, that is an insane amount of damage output, and towards the end of the dial, he's got super senses, and he's got battle fury, so it's like, you ain't got no shape change, you have to hit him, and then you have to hope that he misses a super sense roll. So it's really good. Plus, when he was using the poison, he was like sidestep poison, jacking stuff up. Yeah, Hat is definitely top caliber piece. And I know we had a couple of rocks this last weekend too, and I didn't see any hats in the results that I saw. But man, expect him to make waves, because he can go from a super support piece, to just a beastly, attacker if caged and stuff like that. Also, I love Green Light's box. I didn't think, like when I pulled Green Light in the unboxing, I was like, oh, it's the chase that, not quite the chase that nobody wanted, but it was a chase that nobody was really looking at. And now that I've played with him, I'm like, this guy is cool. He's Soldier Theme Team, so like you can stick him with Nick Fury and do some crazy stuff there. Maybe not the best pairing with Nick Fury, but definitely something to consider if you're gonna be going the Nick Fury route or the Soldier Keyword route and stuff like that. Gosh, I guess make sure to really check your opponent's teams out. That's super important. Gosh, I don't know. I don't want to, like, I guess, doggone anything that I played or anything like that, but like I was so very lucky. I was lucky with my dice rolls. I was lucky with my pulls. I was lucky with the map choices. Like that's you know, that's very few things you have control of. You know, I can position and stuff like that, and you can roll. And we have a player, Dennis. He's a judge at one of the venues around here, and he likes to say he'd rather be lucky than good. And I was definitely lucky, way more than good. So I hope like this has helped you. This tournament report kind of like showed you some stuff you could do with your builds and stuff like that. I'm not sure you'll ever run into a situation we'll be playing sealed with Age of Ultron Wave 2 and Superman Wonder Woman. But if you do, you've got some ideas. Thank you for watching. This has been Matt for Heroic Tactics.